Joining me now is Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul, a Democrat. Attorney General Raoul, we appreciate you joining us tonight. We start with the president's threats against Chicago, an imminent immigration crackdown, perhaps using the Great Lakes Naval Base as a base, and a possible deployment of National Guard to fight crime. Have you had any communication with the Trump administration about its plans for the city?
No, I have not, Reverend Allen. And first off, thank you for having me on. We have had no communication. One thing I do want to say is historically, my office, as well as other law enforcement offices, have collaborated and communicated with local federal crime-fighting agencies, the U.S. military, to be part of local crime fighting. And so we've had no communication with the White House about this or anybody else from the administration.
So do you find it unusual that you've not heard from federal authorities with all of these imminent threats?
Absolutely. I do find it unusual because we've had a history through both the first Trump administration and the Biden administration of collaborating with law enforcement partners. We have a tremendous police superintendent here. We have a good sheriff. We have a good state police director, and we have good special agents in charge of the federal agencies who have been collaborating on crime fighting and driving crime rates down. If the president were interested in genuinely in fighting crime, he would not try to defund ATF, not try to defund community violence interruption, not try to place condition on funding for victims of crime, but he's doing all of those things, which is inconsistent with the desire of fighting crime.
Now, your governor, J.B. Pritzker, has said he expects ICE operations in Chicago to look like those in Los Angeles. If the president intends to send the Guard to support that mission, a federal judge just ruled that deployment was illegal in L.A. Why would that be any different in Chicago? And will the president's comments online comparing this operation to an apocalypse in Chicago have any influence on how the courts view this?
Yes, I think his comments will have an impact on how the courts view this, and his childish, un-American, unpresidential posts with regards to the Department of War descending upon Chicago. I think that will have impact. It will show that his intent is not a genuine attempt of either immigration enforcement or fighting crime. He's trying to sow the type of violence and protests that get out of it might give him an angle at being able to deploy forces into our city. And so we're very clear that we want people to exercise their First Amendment right. We want people to talk about how this is un-American, how this is not a genuine effort to fight crime, but we want them to do so peacefully. Otherwise, you're playing into his hand.
Now, we just had Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson on the show last weekend to talk about the executive order he issued in advance of a possible Trump crackdown in Chicago. That order calls for Trump to stand down on deployment. It demands that ICE agents be unmasked if deployed and that the city's police department remain locally controlled. And it puts measures in place to protect residents' rights. What has your office been doing either to push back on possible deployments or to make sure citizens' rights are respected if they happen?
Well, we've been preparing for the potential unlawful, unconstitutional deployment. I've been in contact with my colleagues both in D.C. and in California, Attorney General Rob Bonta in California, as well as Attorney General Brian Schwab in D.C., who have both either already litigated or are in the process of litigating, in the case of D.C., the unlawful deployment of the Guard. And so we've been preparing for that. We've also issued guidance to individuals as to how to appropriately interact with ICE or other federal forces, such not to play to take debate from the president and his administration. I should add, it appears that the president is wearing a Confederate hat in the post that he has on Truth Social. That's not the symbol of a president in 2025. I don't care, Republican, Independent, or Democrat. That's not what we want to see in a president. We don't want to see our own military turn against our cities. I've spoken in this couple of months how we're marching towards authoritarianism. I think we've arrived.
Yeah.
When we have a president that has turned the military or is talking about turning the military in 3 major cities against the American citizens, we have arrived.
Well, I've looked at that picture of the hat, and we can't say for sure it is a Confederate hat. We do know it came a hat worn in the film. But let me ask you just very frankly, what do you expect will happen in the next week in Chicago?
I do expect that there will be a surge of ICE agents. I don't know how they may be supported by other federal agencies. We have a naval base where they have been setting up, Great Lakes Naval Base, and there have been sightings of vehicles being brought in and so forth, and equipment being brought in to the naval base. And so we expect for there to be a surge in immigration enforcement. I don't know what will follow that.
Now, these crime and immigration crackdowns, not only the flashpoint between the administration and Democratic state attorney generals, you joined 19 other state AGs this week in filing a brief in support of the American Federation of Government Employees, which has sued the administration over Trump's order ending collective bargaining for most federal employees. You're also involved in suits against the administration over immigration and voting rights, among other issues. What's at stake right now, Mr. Attorney General Raoul?
Our nation, as we know it, is at stake. Collective bargaining has been critical at securing a middle class. It has secured reasonable work hours, safe working conditions, reasonable wages, and to attack one group of employees who have historically had the right to collective bargain to protect themselves. For any other member of any collective bargaining organization who may have voted for President Trump, if you think he's going to stop with federal employees, you're sadly mistaken. And that's why we've supported the suit of federal employees. This is not just a fight for federal employees. This is a fight for collective bargaining at large and for employees throughout our nation. Our office is consistently fighting against wage theft and against other violations of workers' rights, and we will continue to do so.
All right. Thank you, Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul. Thank you for joining us this evening.